Hello, good morning, доброго ранку. So, today is January 27th. I actually thought I was going to be making this video about a couple of weeks before this, but this is a good time to make a TBR for the next month, right? Right, so I have blankets and cats and dogs here. I'm so sorry for the mess, but okay, let's talk about my TBR. I don't have all the physical copies of the books that I'm going to be reading, but I'll show you all of the ones that I have. First, we've got The Goblin Emperor by, I always forget, Catherine Edison. This is a standalone adult fantasy novel, which is something that I need more of in my life. It's so reflective, but it's a very beautiful cover. I looked up specifically lists of fantasy novels that are standalone and adult, and this was on the lists, a lot of them. And it's also actually the book club pick for the Royals Book Club that Princess from the Castle Library is hosting. And I'm so excited because this is my first time participating in the book club. And we're reading this January, February, I think. So the discussion for this is going to be the end of February. And God, I just really want to read a good fantasy that's just ensconced in one book. That is not a bajillion books in the series. This makes me so happy. Cannot wait to read it. The next one, come on, say in the, by the way, this is Marvin the TBR basket, and he will not stay put. Right, next we've got Ghost Wall by Sarah Moss. This is a reread for me, but it's come on, Marvin. But it's a very short book, and it's, let me see how long it is. It's 149 pages long, so 70 to 100 pages. It's one of my favorite books. It's so good. It's about this young girl whose father is obsessed with archaeology and ancient Scots. And every year he takes her and their family on this dig with archaeology students where they live in a way that they think the Stone Age people from that area lived. And there are some weird rituals and very strange insinuations. And whatever is happening in this book, you just feel this malevolent presence and oppressive spirit on top of this girl's head, and it's beautiful. It's just one of the most haunting things I have ever read, and I cannot wait to just read it again and feel this pure dread. That's a fun thing to look forward to when you're reading, right? The next one is Halloween Tree by Ray Bradbury. Okay. So I haven't read this last October. This was on my October Golftober TBR. But October was crazy for me because it always is, because I tried to do everything and I end up doing nothing. So I did not get to this, and I feel bad because Ray Bradbury is one of my favorite writers. I love Halloween. I love spooky stuff. I love Ray Bradbury. And I really love this little vintage copy. And what's really great about it is that though it's mass market size, the font is actually really big. And that's a thing for me. So yeah, next one, number 4, we've got The Story of a Shipwrecked Sailor by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. That's my favorite author, and I'm slowly collecting all his works because I haven't read all of his works yet. And this, I guess, is The Story of a Shipwrecked Sailor. His works actually really have a very descriptive titles now that I think about it, because this is probably just that. There's a book of his called History of a Death Foretold, and that's literally just that. So, but excited to read this one. It's pretty short as well, and a lot of Marcus's work is, and I don't know what else to say about it because I'm just really excited. That's actually going to be for a video. It's going to be part 2 of the video series that I'm already doing on my channel, and this is another book for that series. Is The Ocean, the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman, and it's actually an illustrated edition, which makes me so happy. I think this was part of it. Oh yeah. What's wrong with my brain? I just said that it's part of a video series that I'm already doing, so I know where this book came from. And yet I still said those words that I think it's part of. Yeah, I know what it's part of. Sorry, I have not been sleeping well. Surprise, surprise. Basically, yes, this is The Ocean, the End of the Lane. I don't know what it's about. I just know that it's Neil Gaiman, and it's probably fantasy or magical realism or something like that, and I love Neil Gaiman, and I want to read it. Let's move on. Next, we have Man Called Uwe by Frederick Backman. This is about this old, grumpy man who lives next door. These new people, I think, move in next door to him, this young couple, And they kind of start this friendship relationship where he comes out of his shell. And there's also a cat on the cover, which makes me think that, probably there's going to be a cat character, and it's gonna have me in a chokehold. Also, this novel, everybody who read it said that they cried, and I feel like I need a good cry from the book because emotions are hard, and books help me with that. Yeah, let's move on. That wasn't cryptic at all, was it? Beloved by Toni Morrison. This was on my October TBR as well for Gothtober, and I actually started it, but I got distracted because I felt like I was missing some context. I need to Google what... I probably need to read the synopsis to know where specifically this book is set and when, because I don't know a lot about Black history, and when I started to read this, I was immediately lost as to where the events were happening. So, but I really liked the writing style, and it's supposed to be, it's not supposed to be, it is a ghost story. It's like literally in the first few pages of the book, it's a ghost story. And I love a good ghost story, and a few people told me that this is the best ghost story they've ever read. And if I love it, then I'm probably going to read all of Toni Morrison's work, because whenever I read a really good book, it just immediately makes me want to devour everything that writer has ever created. And it's probably a problem because then my TBR grows by like 10 numbers immediately. But, I'm not mad about it. Next, we got Insomnia by Sarah Pinborough. This cover is a crime, okay? Look at this shit. What is this? Who thought this was okay? Well, looked at this and was like, yeah, that's a good cover. This is a good cover for a thriller from an author who came out with a few bestsellers. Let's make this cover, and it's going to entice readers unfamiliar with this author to not think that this is some kind of Dan Brown parody. No. Okay. I got no words. What the hell? Behind Her Eyes, which is one of my favorite thrillers of all time, had this stupid cover as well, which was just like an eye, a photograph of somebody's eye. It wasn't even like a good illustration, which was okay, it was fine. But this looks like it's deliberately bad. Who designed this? I'm sorry, whoever you are. I'm so sorry, but this is awful. I'm really sorry. I don't like this cover. It just makes me so mad. But I really want to read this book. And I've been kind of obsessed with it ever since it came out, and I finally got my hands on it. And honestly, I want this to be my first read of the month, but I think I'm going to read them in order of me putting them in the box in Marvin. So I'm gonna have to wait, or I'll cave and just grab it and read it on the first of the month. We shall see. And next we've got The Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows by somebody Koenig, John Koenig. This is just a dictionary of these words that this guy comes up with, that definitions for feelings and things we don't have in our language, but that he thinks we should have. And a few of these, I opened it at a random page and I read one of the definitions, and it just grabbed me in the middle of my chest. And I think I said these exact words in my book haul because I am boring. So this, I think I'm just going to read this all throughout the month. I'm just going to open it and read a few pages every day, because it's not a narrative book. So, John Green blurbed it. Who cares? Because it's not a narrative book, but I still think that it's going to be a great experience. Also, look how pretty it is. It's just gold on black, and it's lovely. And I think I like things like that. And if I'm going to start using some of these words, people are going to think I'm obnoxious and a snob, and they will be correct to think so. Right. So next, I have 3 Agatha Christie books that I want to read. I don't have the physical copies with me right now, but I will soon. We've got Murder on the Orient Express, which is number 9 in the Poirot series. We've got 3-Act Tragedy, which is number 10, and Death in the Clouds, which is number 11. That, I think, is probably everything that I have on my list for specifically definitely read. I have a couple other books for specific videos that I might read if I get to them, if I have extra time. But let's not kid ourselves. Who thinks that this is an organized person? Raise your hands. Nobody thinks that. Okay, so thank you for watching this mess. I don't know what's wrong with my speech lately. Well, I do. But if you gleaned any sort of meaning, any sort of coherence from what I just talked about, thank you so much for watching. If you watched this long, please leave me a pumpkin in the comments so I know that you got this far in the video. Subscribe, like, whatever. Thank you. Please support my channel. And please tell me what books you're going to read in February. And if you are going to read any of these, let's buddy read them. I always want to buddy read with everybody. Like, if you want to buddy read, let's do it together because we really like to buddy read. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I will see you soon. Slava Ukraini.